Hey everybody, welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Today we're going to talk about how your middle school popularity affects your love life, the reason Christina Applegate started therapy after filming Netflix's Dead to Me, and why a new roller coaster in Canada is not for the faint of heart. Plus, actress Biana Eadie joins the table to discuss her new Netflix film and series Malibu Rescue. But first,
guys, the 2019 Met Gala took place last night featuring some of the craziest fashion looks from our favorite celebrities. The theme was Camp, Notes on Fashion. So let's dive into some of the stars that we loved from last night.
Let's do it.
I think we got to start with Lady Gaga.
Yeah. She killed it. I mean, and I felt bad for almost, not saying no one else after had great looks, they did, but she was early, arrived on time and had killed it with 4 outfit changes and just really brought down the house.
Yeah, I love any outfit that's interactive, and hers having 3 looks that just keep on unraveling, and her cell phone, it was so big and juicy and just so 90s.
She reminded me of old Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga that was first that I fell in love with. That's why I loved it so much. She looked like 10 years ago. The outfits were the same, the personality, I loved it.
That's what my favorite of the 4 looks she had was the last one where she's in the black little underwear with really high heels.
That was your favorite one?
That was my favorite one because that to me was Lady Gaga, and then when she was laying on the stairs, and for me camp is just being extra, and part of the top of the clothes is the performance.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Lady Gaga is camp, so this isn't that much of a reach for her. This is perfect for her, but it's not the reaction you have seeing some other people dress for the occasion.
Like Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
He's the one, he had shock value, I think.
Yeah, he was great. I think it's easy for a lot of the, great, that's a great photo. A lot of the guys that came out, it was easy for some of them to fall flat.
Oh, God.
They didn't try that hard, so it's nice to see some people put an effort in.
I loved how Ezra kind of sneaked in his look. He had that mask that was his regular normal face, and he was just hiding behind it for the whole time. And then in the video where he pulls it away and reveals all those eyes, they're mesmerizing. That's just such a good take on camp.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, a lot of guys, Ezra Miller wore black, but kind of resorted to black. Harry Styles wore some sort of lace
blouse,
Madonna blouse. I think I've seen her wear on tour. But someone who didn't do that was Billy Porter.
Oh yeah.
Who arrived the way that I want to arrive to work every day, being carried by 6 gladiators basically, and just pulling at your golden wings. He killed it. The Pose cast that was there, MJ Rodriguez was there. Of course, Billy Porter. They killed it.
Yeah, the levels in Porter's look are so amazing because when he has his arms up, they're wings, but when they come down, it looks just like this beautiful gown, cape. So I just love a look that's so different just by how you're holding your body.
Right.
Yes. And I love all the looks that really were gender bending. Even with Ezra's look, he had that corset on top of his tux. With Billy, obviously, he's a king, he's a queen, he's a phoenix rising from the ashes. He's really encompassing so many different vibes here. I loved it. Next, Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh,
she
Yes.
was, I love
See,
this
I
look.
just love, this is we haven't seen Lupita do a look like this before. And so there are some people who live and breathe camp. So when they come to the Met Gala in this theme, they won't shock us.
Right.
But I love, because you're not going to see her again in these colors. You're not going to see her, with all the combs in her hair again.
Yeah.
And the eye makeup, for me, just nails it.
Totally.
It's the Afro pics, hands down. I saw that, I was oh, it's so good.
And I think, I know we're gonna show Katy Perry next, but Lupita and Billy, that's a perfect example of let's show Katy Perry's photo because it's a perfect example of how this to me is pretty hack.
Yeah.
And camp doesn't have to be costume play, and I feel that's what her style choices kind of just devolved to. Her coming out later in the hamburger costume, it's it doesn't mean just throw on a costume.
Yeah, like I said, I love when there's a performance aspect to it, and had she walked in this and really sort of had a character or a regalness, but she was just
this just tells me she has no gays in her life.
Yeah.
Someone could have pointed her in the right direction, and everyone said yes along the way.
Oh, the gays abandoned her anyway. Yeah, there's a lack of actual substance of understanding what the theme is. But Katie, there was some sort of Disney theme. Zendaya had that Cinderella thing. The Jenner sisters looked like Cinderella's evil stepsisters, going to a drag show. But it was just kind of this whole costumey thing that didn't quite capture what camp actually is.
It's like a very fine line of not wanting to like try so hard, but you still want to be like super, super performative. And like Brittany and I were talking about this backstage, but how like red carpets inherently are very performative. So like trying to kind of push it, but not just come as Katy Perry.
Yeah, like for me, if she had worn like the head part of this and then wore some like amazing like Art Deco, just sort of weird gown, like I feel like that would have been more campy than wearing an actual chandelier, but whatever. Up next we have Tessa Thompson, whose hair is a whip. I mean, that braid is...
Well, it's very Avatar-esque, you know, when you can connect the braids or whatever. I'm into it.
Yeah, I also think like Tessa Thompson's such a badass. I could see her actually bringing this look outside of the Met Gala.
For sure.
Like I feel like she is really great at just like stepping out of like the box.
Her hairstylist is Lacey Redway, who I love and follow on Instagram, and I could see them like totally just like wrapping this around her head and doing like a big bun with a braid. You know what I mean? Like they're so versatile with what they do with her. Up next is Florence Welch.
This was, I mean, very Dragon Queen-esque. I thought it's like a tribute to the fallen Viserion, Daenerys' dragon, who sadly.
Oh, she is giving me dragon vibes.
Yeah, I mean, this is. Yeah, I mean, I think more the Night King dragon. Yeah, who's she's cool. She's very talented. I'm into this look.
She's very
anyone who can wear a cape. As you know, I want to wear a cape every day. I don't have the guts to do it.
It's
this is the thing is as normal as you can get and without being boring and being sent home. I do think the Met Gala should be more cutthroat.
Yeah.
I think you should arrive, and if you don't match the theme and if you didn't bring it, send people home. Like Shawn Mendes, send him to the electric chair.
Giselle.
He's boring as fuck. Literally, he showed up and he was like, I don't know what camp is. Then why'd you show up, bitch? Go home. I'm so tired of you. You know who wasn't invited to the Met Gala? Billie Eilish, and she would have brought it.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are, who shouldn't have shown up. You know, Kanye West, you see him next to Kim. Kim actually did a pretty good job last night with her, like, ice-down gown. Kanye just standing there, like, the corset look was
the corset look, I mean, oh my God, those her...
And, like, latex, she's just living
her
in
organs must be
Those are
crying.
looks we've seen from her before.
Yeah.
Totally.
It wasn't very campy. She just looked
Kanye
sexy.
standing on the side in his all-black outfit, it's just like, dude, you knock all this stuff, then you show up and you don't try. Stop showing up and not trying.
That's what I'm saying.
Just don't show up.
Right.
If you're so anti-establishment, don't show up to the Met Gala. Like, at least play the game. I mean, we want to see it. He's just so...
I know.
It just looked like he was like just literally there to escort her, and it was just weird. He didn't look happy.
Weird.
But he was also there to make a statement by wearing all black. Like, look, I'm not playing this game, whatever. Like, it was
but he doesn't stand out because there's so many other dumb straight dudes who showed up in all black, and it's just like, okay, why'd you even bother? Can't you be more like Darren Criss? He's straight, but he showed up and he looked good.
Oh, he looked amazing. Yeah, don't go to Men's Warehouse for your suit if you're going to the Met Gala. Like, you really gotta like reach
Put
up.
some pizzazz on it. Come on.
Yeah.
Anything. I was shocked that Priyanka Chopra showed up, and I was like, ooh, she's giving me total weird girl vibes.
I liked it.
Like, her makeup was great, and I honestly didn't expect that from her.
Yeah.
And Nick showed up with a little mustache.
And I know.
I thought you would love that mustache.
He kind of looked like he was walking to a gay club in Miami, like 1984, and I was really into it.
Yeah, it was like a 90s stash.
Shoes were sparkly, the stash, the hair. I was like, you know what, Nick, you're trying.
Yeah.
You guys know who my favorite look of the night was?
Mine too.
Janelle Monáe.
Yes, amazing.
For me, she nailed it. And again, a part of the reason she nailed it for me is the whole night she would keep her hands in this little pose, and everything was like very specific and meticulous. And I just feel like she really became this character. I feel like there's a whole story. I feel like she really put a lot of thought into this.
But again, Janelle is someone who's embodied camp since the beginning of her career. She would not show up and not bring it. Like, every video she makes, every show she does live, like, she's always doing like iconic looks that are super original.
On the topic of gender bending, Michael Urie was my second favorite look of the night. I just love this. Because it's not like he did like a split Victor-Victoria. It's really like intermixed at every, like the feminine side has the combat boots and the facial hair, and like it's just all very mixed.
Yeah.
I thought that was
I'm impressed by the really evenly divided beard.
Yeah.
That is, I could not do that with my shaving skills. But I like him. I mean, I loved him on Ugly Betty, so I'm glad he's getting attention. He's doing something really cool, and I'm into it.
Yeah. And then lastly, we have Lena Waithe.
Oh, always.
Always.
Yeah, really cool. The pinstripes on her suit are lyrics from like iconic lip syncing songs that drag queens perform. Yeah, so it's like I'm Coming Out. There's so many more. I like forgot them. I read them earlier. But
wow, I had no idea.
The tiny little lyrics. I also want to know, is the typo on the back intended? So it says Black drag queens invented. So there's an end at the end of invented camp. I don't know if that's a choice, what it means, what's happening.
I'm hoping it was a choice.
Definitely a choice.
Definitely
No
a
regrets.
choice.
No regrets.
Yeah, it must be a choice, right? Because otherwise they would have fixed it. But I'm like, what's the meaning? I love mysteries.
Would you guys ever go to the Met Gala if you were invited?
Duh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm
Not
too.
turning that down.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You think they'll invite Bill Brunch next year?
Yeah,
Anybody know
I think
Anna
so.
Wintour?
Geez, if they're inviting some of the flops they invited this year, we're definitely gonna get invited.
We're in the possibility. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, I love this optimism.
You guys, just to be clear, we're not getting invited.
know.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
not with that attitude.
No.
Come on, Allie. I mean, I love the Roman Catholicism theme last year. Like, that's a theme I
Yeah.
would have shined in because my Pope dreams. But
really
so I would
would.
hope the Met, if I would go, would be something like royal or like wizard themed. Would that be possible? Maybe.
No, I would love it if
Witches.
the theme was like death or the undead or just like coffins. Like, it would be
you'd
so
kill
good
that.
if everybody would be like all creepy and like
Yeah.
dead. I would love that.
Huh,
Well,
now I'm starting to think about themes. I would love like a magic sort of theme.
Yeah, magic, right?
Yeah.
Everyone like in cool wizard robes. Come on, guys, right?
Hollywood is always magic, people.
I just want like a pure divas theme, I think.
Oh,
Just
like just
diva.
Yeah.
like be the
Just
best
like
diva.
the best diva ever. I want big hair, big dresses, Diana Ross.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Celine Dion, she looked great
Oh, she
last
looked
night. Yeah. Well, in other news, the next time your love life doesn't work out the way you planned, Cosmo has a new culprit to blame. A new article details how your middle school self can influence your confidence and perception when it comes to dating.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, you know, as someone who's sitting here wearing an oversized Beetlejuice shirt from Hot Topic, I think they're onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think though, it is impressively hard to rid yourself of the way you think of yourself when you were younger.
Oh, absolutely.
I still feel like a middle school kid. Like I still like identify as like this black nerdy girl. And no matter how I grow and change, like I peaked much later, like in college. Like I still feel like that. Like nobody was looking twice at me. I had no dates to anything. I was always the friend that guys would come and talk to about how they had crushes on my friends.
Yeah.
And I had these really pretty friends in middle school.
Yeah.
But like 2 of them got pregnant in high school. So I always felt like I dodged a bullet by being a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Because when you're really young and pretty, you get over-sexualized and like things happen, whereas like literally nobody was trying to fuck me, so like I didn't have any problems.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the friends I had that were like hot when they were like in 7th or 8th grade, like they all need to be taken down a notch.
Right.
They're like the most delusional, kind of like sit around and wait for things to come to them people.
Still.
Well, that's
Yes.
the thing. If you don't have your awkward phase in middle school, then and if you still are hot, you're a deeply disturbed individual who needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not hot anymore, then you're suffering from the lack of self-esteem. I am now no longer as hot as I was in middle school or high school. As someone who was both chubby and had braces for 5 years, and again, someone the girls would go to and be like, I like so-and-so.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does no one want to kiss me?
And you sound like Mickey Mouse.
And I like Mickey Mouse.
I'm a real boy.
And I was like, and I still look in the mirror and see that person. I feel like I'm just peaking right now. So
Yeah.
it's taking a while. But yeah, I'm absolutely, I still think of myself as that middle schooler with braces who just requested hung up at the bar mitzvahs and would dance by myself.
Oh. Oh.
Wow.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It is really great though. Like I feel like in middle school, I was totally treated like, you know, an inanimate object that like could talk, and they were like, "Okay, Lumiere, great job. Why are you here?" But now, like, I feel like all those people follow me on social media, and they're like, "Wow, you're on TV," and I'm like, "Who are you?" I don't
Revenge.
remember you.
Yeah. No,
It is great.
That is the best part, kind of, where like I've had people come back, and I mean, nobody was like mean to me, but
Right.
definitely I got ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like though, like if but some people who are able to peak earlier in high school, middle school are more than equipped to date as adults, or does it hurt them more? Like, what do you think?
Or do you think we still date if I see a really attractive guy,
Right.
I will not even. I'm like, oh, he's like quarterback. I can't even do that.
No,
you know what I
you
mean?
don't think that.
I do.
Really?
That's
I
what
feel-
I'm saying.
No, because I think you actually still think that you do that, but really you're so confident and you have
Yeah,
no
but I
problem
tend to-
making moves and talking to people. So I think you might have that perception of yourself, but it's not actually how you execute.
Right, but you've seen like the guys I date. None of them are like
But that's
smoke shows.
But
Like they're
if
like
you-
nerdy, smart
Brittany,
guys.
but that's-
They're, like
but
good
here's-
person. They also used to be kind of losers in middle
maybe
school.
that's who you kind of like connect with in the app world, but I have a feeling that like you and I in a bar, if there was a hot guy, you'd be like, let's go talk to him. Like that's not something
Yeah,
you
but
would have
like
a
as
problem
the
to do.
friend who I'm like, well, he doesn't want to fuck me, but like I'll go be his friend.
Yeah, but see, you would have that attitude, but you'd still do it. You would not have a problem approaching people.
All right.
So you're confident.
You don't at all. I don't think you do.
Okay, I guess I don't.
But I identify.
Maybe you do.
I
don't
identify
know.
with that though. I really do feel the same way. Like I can't approach him or whoever.
But
like,
you do too.
But
You
it's the
both
we have the
are
same
cocky.
thing.
But like I
It's the
can
same
approach somebody, but
complex.
I'm like,
It's the
but they're
same
not
complex.
interested in
Right,
me.
right,
I'm
right.
this nerdy girl that like nobody ever looks
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
So like if I'm approaching a hot guy, it's
Yes.
like because I'm like, we could be friends, or you want to date my
you
friend? I'll
both-
set
Like I'm
you up.
funny. I can tell jokes. Hey,
Yeah.
ha! Like we can be friends.
No,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
can't, bro.
I can't.
You both are like showstoppers who kind of identify as virgins.
Right.
Yeah, because that's where we were in middle school.
Yeah.
That's
And far after.
right. It took a while. I was a late
long
bloomer.
time.
End of high school.
Yeah,
Oh man.
those are the days.
All right. Well, anyway, actress Christina Applegate has revealed that filming Netflix's Dead to Me took a huge toll on her. According to Applegate, the show forced her to deal with new demons in her own life, and that she drew on a past personal loss for the role. I just watched a few episodes of the show last night. I really, really like it.
I love this show.
I mean, I love Christina Applegate.
I love her.
So I'm really happy she's in a role, and I also love Linda.
You're happy
Cardellini.
she's in a role.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
just happy
them
she's on TV.
together
Yeah,
are great.
and them together. So it's a really cool like show about two women, and clearly I don't want to reveal everything, but the trauma that's happened between them.
I love this show. We had both of them in on Build last week, so you guys should check out the interview. They really do talk about character development and how they like why these roles were attracted to them. And Christina actually makes a note. She's like, it wasn't that hard for her to get into that character. The character has a lot of anger.
Right.
And now reading this story, you understand that she was able to access something.
Right.
But like in doing that, that doesn't just go away when the role is over. So she had like accessed all of this like personal trauma, and you have to do something with it. And she chose to go to therapy, which I thought was really probably smart.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising though that like a role. I guess actors really do kind of like act. You know, every time I
Yeah.
hear an actor like not like faking it, I'm like, oh, I guess you have a thing going.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm always surprised by the actors who the older actors who can access incredible pain, but they can't be thinking of like. How does Jessica Lange act? I don't know. Is she thinking about someone who died, or is she
Yeah,
just
I
able to
don't
be like, I
know.
can cry right now? Or is it like they have to find this trauma in their own life to bring that out? I don't know. Clearly, Christina is saying that she had to search
Yeah.
and find that pain.
You're right,
Yeah.
but like at a certain point, isn't it just muscle memory? for
Right. I think
them?
Meryl Streep and Jessica
A
Lange can just
little
do
bit.
it.
It is,
There
but-
have been like stories about actors who like literally have all the physical effects and take a toll on their body because when you emulate those emotions, your body doesn't know the difference. So if you're being a good actor and you're being angry, your body's going through all of those
Right.
those processes that's like true anger. So you can't, if you're actually acting, you can't separate.
Right.
Like emotions are real.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
And a lot of the actors I talk to talk about how they're not trying to play a character. They really find the points that character is like them.
Right.
And so they start kind of integrating this person into who they are. So even Christina too, like this character has parts of her in it. From the dancing, there's a health diagnosis. Those are things that Christina dealt with in real life that I think they probably put in. So I think at some point she sort of is this woman.
Right.
And it's hard to like leave that person when you're done.
Yeah. I watched all of this show in like 5 hours straight because each episode's
Right.
only like 20 something minutes.
Yeah.
And I love the balance of dark and humor, and it's really, there's some lines that really got me, made me laugh out loud, which is pretty hard to do. But then I looked it up, and there's like directors and writers from Nurse Jackie, which is like,
Yeah.
if you haven't watched that show, so amazing.
One of the best. One of the
and I
best.
was just like, Abe Sylvia, he's like one of the writers, and he wrote so much of that show, and he's on this. And then they have a brand new writer who hasn't really written anything else, and I was like, that's pretty dope to be on a Netflix, like writing for a Netflix show like Dead to Me for these two
What's that?
iconic
Do you know the name?
actresses. Yeah, it was Kelly Hutchinson. She's a brand new writer, and she wrote like 2 shorts before this. I thought it was really cool.
And I think
there's- yeah.
writing a show like this is specifically hard because it's a dark comedy. So like they're dealing with grief, but you laugh out loud. So writing something like that
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
difficult.
And Will Ferrell, Adam McKay are executive producers on it.
So it's
it is-
Christina, yeah.
So it's Christina, and the showrunner's a woman too, very successful.
Feldman.
Yeah,
And Will
very
Ferrell and
successful
Adam
writer.
McKay recently split up.
They
Their
split
duo,
up.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are wondering, what does that mean?
What
Right.
does that mean?
Well, I think that, Lena Dunham and
Oh yeah, her girl.
I'm blanking.
Jenji Cohen?
Jenji, no.
No, that's another.
Whatever, they broke up. Writing partners break up sometimes.
forgetting her
I mean,
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes you have to break up to make sure that people can give you credit where
Exactly.
credit's due, because it's hard as a duo to keep that balance together.
Right.
Yep.
Like I've had to be like, we need to do some solo projects
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
are giving you a lot of credit.
Oh yeah, I could imagine. All right, from emotional roller coasters to actual ones, a new roller coaster in Canada will have you hanging over a straight drop and staring down 245 feet into an abyss. Called the Yukon Striker, the coaster now holds the title for the world's tallest, longest, and fastest coaster.
Who wants to go? Who wants to go do this?
Every time I ride a roller coaster, I think it's not tall, long, or fast enough. So I've been waiting for this.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah.
I think this is it. Did you watch the video of it?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
is there like a point of view?
Yeah, there's like a point of POV one, and it's really intense. Because there's like this big drop.
Right.
Like, here you go. There's this big drop, but right before they drop you, they hold you there for 3 seconds so you can contemplate your life and all the mistakes you made, and then they drop you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Some of those I do feel like I went on the Blue Man Group roller coaster in Universal in Florida, and that one when you're going up, I truly felt like I was gonna fall out of it. And I'm a small person, so I was like, oh, they could have made a mistake. I might actually fall out. So some of them I'm afraid for my life a little bit, just because I could slip through the thing.
Oh yeah.
For sure, I would imagine. Yeah, it crossed your mind as well. I love roller coasters. Like nothing makes me feel more magical and powerful than going on a roller coaster. I feel like I'm flying. So like in Universal, they changed to Harry Potter, the Dance of the Dragons one. I love the Dueling Dragons one. But
Oh
also,
yeah, they took that down.
They really?
Yeah, I'm
I haven't
so
been there in a
sorry.
while. Oh no.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the Hulk, that one's a
Oh,
great
the Hulk's
one.
amazing.
When
You know what's amazing about that? The acceleration.
The acceleration.
Yeah.
When you blast out, because no other roller coaster will have you like just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Rock and roller coaster.
Oh, that's good. I love roller coasters so much. Whenever I
Sorry,
go,
I'm really into it.
I would
really
go to
into
theme
roller
parks with my
coasters.
friends at birthday parties, and I would always like, and sometimes the person who's hosting it would end up being afraid of roller coasters. I'm like, why are we here?
Yeah.
You're ruining your own party.
That's tragic.
Bye. And I would end up just walking with one other friend, like, let's do this ourselves, because like you just. I'm so into roller coasters. I love it.
I always abandon people if they're not ride people.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't want to go on the rides, that's fine. You can eat the nachos, but I'm not gonna like sit here with you and waste my time. Like I'm the type of person who always waits to go in the front of the car. Like I'm always in the front. It's my favorite spot. You can see everything without all the butts in the way.
We gotta do something about the lines though, because the ride's not long enough. Like it lasts like 3 minutes.
You
You're
gotta
in
get
line
like
for
a
like
fast
2
pass or
hours.
something.
Right.
You
That's
can
only-
play it right. Like you can get those fast pass for some, and then go hit up the ones with the shorter time. It's like a whole.
It's a
you
whole
just
game.
gotta be
There's a whole
smart
game. I once got hooked up though, because I don't.
You hooked up?
with a roller coaster.
I
you know
would
there's
hook
a
up with
woman who
any
married
person
a
to get me
roller
to cut the
coaster.
roller coaster line. Believe me, I would do anything. But I got some like really like fast pass, cut the line pass when I was at Harry Potter World once. It was the best thing. You just like when you cut the line, people first look at you like you are a terrorist.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are
Yeah,
a horrible
'cause you
person.
are.
And I am. I'm just getting hi bitches. Hi. But then like you get in front, you're like this was worth it. But yeah, it makes everything the difference in the world. You got to cut those lines.
Totally.
So I went to Disney World. It was a press thing. I was doing some videos for them, and so I got the celebrity fast pass, the one it's unlimited fast pass at all 5 parks, and I had it for 3 days. And I hate Disney World, but I loved it.
Yes.
But I didn't have to wait.
Did you
any
get to
longer.
bring a friend?
I would know. I was down there for work, so they ended up assigning me this guy who worked at Disney World, and he was like 55, and he was like a little too into Disney World.
So you guys hooked up.
Yeah, I had his baby, and we named her Mickey.
Wow, so you rode all those rides?
So I rode everything as many times as I wanted. So
With
Wow.
yeah, with him. He was fine to ride rides with. I was just like, why do you come here on lunch breaks by yourself? But
Yeah, what was your favorite ride?
oh God, I really like the I don't remember. Fuck. I don't remember the name of it.
Disney World, when I went back like a few years ago with my cousin, when you go back with a little kid and she was like 7 and my uncle set up, it was her first time like a whole experience, like lunch with the princesses and meet, like it is so much fun.
Yeah.
I got so into it because you're watching this like little girl experience like all that she loves at Disney World, like meeting the
No, I know you
stepsisters.
mean well. It's just so creepy.
It's so creepy, yeah.
But
Love going with
I'm
the
more
little
like
kid.
the 50-year-old man who's like so old, and I'm the one that's like, I'm eating with princesses. Like I don't need a child
Right.
to like be youthful and see it in that light. Like I'm just like still dumb, I guess.
No, I love Shannon's world. Like, you know, Kenneth and 30 Rock sees everyone in puppets. Like Shannon just like everyone's like little kids. Ah.
Yeah, I know. If you trap me in a closet, I would be like so entertained. Like
Right.
I'm so easily amused that like I have fun all the time.
Oh,
That's a good quality.
that's really beautiful, Shannon.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to amusement park soon.
Great.
Actress Brianna Edie is best known for roles on Nickelodeon's School of Rock and Haunted Hathaways, but now you can catch her as the star of Netflix's Malibu Rescue. The film and TV series center around a group of misfits who compete to be on an elite lifeguard team in Malibu. Take a look.
There's this big test. The Crucible! We pass that, then we're actual junior rescue.
We got this.
Not everybody has what it takes.
Everybody thinks we're a joke, but when saved a guy today.
Is that a CPR dummy?
Okay, not a guy, but a very expensive piece of equipment. We can win this.
Work as a team. Hands in. 1, 2, 3.
Go Wilders!
She's fast, right?
Someone's in trouble. this is just some day at the beach, isn't it?
Everyone, please give a warm Bill Brunch welcome to Brianna Edie. Bree, thank you so much for being here. This film looks so much fun. I mean, clearly, you know, lifeguards, things of Baywatch.
Yeah.
Americans, we love this. This is what we live for.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the film?
Yeah, so basically the film follows a group of kids from the Valley, obviously in Los Angeles, and they're signing up to be Malibu Junior Rescue, which, you know, they're like junior lifeguards, basically. And they are quite naive going into it because the program's pretty exclusive, so they're very into the Malibu kids, and the Malibu kids don't really like the Valley kids, as you expect.
Yeah.
So it's basically about their journey going through the crucible, which is basically how you become a lifeguard. And then we've got a show coming out that follows it June 3rd.
Yeah.
And that comes out afterwards. And then that's basically the whole experience after the crucible.
Right, so that's what's so interesting about this project, because it really hasn't been done before. There's a movie and there's a show right afterwards. So is the show a continuation of this story?
Yeah, so the show's a continuation of what happens in the movie, basically.
That's so exciting. Fans can just literally keep on watching when the movie doesn't end.
It's so great.
So were you a swimmer, like, before the show? Or you, like, could you really... What's your favorite kind of stroke? Are you, like, diving? Or...
I swim. That's it. I mean, I grew up with 3 brothers, so I'm very competitive, but I'm not, bro, I'm going with the back butterfly, like what?
Did you have to pick up any, like, did you have to train at all for this?
Unfortunately not. I got, like, hyped. I thought I was gonna train. I was like, I'm gonna be the next Michael Phelps, let's go.
You're gonna do, like, an Ironman after this? Like, I'm gonna just, like, kill it. Yeah.
No, between the movie, we had about 3 months between the movie and the show. And so I was like, I'm gonna swim it every day between it. Like, I'm gonna go so hard. That lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you tell us more about your character, Gina, and like, what drew you to her story arc?
So I think Gina and I relate quite a bit in that we are very vehemently passionate in our goals and what we're trying to accomplish. So Gina is a hardcore athlete, and she's gonna do everything it takes to be the best that she can. But the thing with that is she turns away from her emotional side or vulnerable side, and she isn't really interested in kind of getting to know herself. And so there's some interesting character development throughout the show that goes on that you see where she's kind of battling between, okay, do I live up to the expectations of what everybody expects me to be? These expectations that I've set up for myself almost. And I think we can all kind of relate to that in some way.
Yeah, and what was the audition process like?
So it was a couple months after the Nickelodeon show School of Rock. We had just wrapped that. And I just got the audition. I saw that the line producer, executive producer, and director had worked with them before on Nickelodeon movies. So I got really excited because, you know, getting to work with people you already know is great. It's like super welcoming. So I auditioned for it, called back literally the next day. And it was hectic because I had just gone to Houston and then like Minneapolis, came back, did the audition, did the callback. A couple weeks later, mix and match, where I saw another castmate from the Nickelodeon show I did, who ended up also getting the part, Ricardo. So it was great to see him. And
it was like a family reunion.
Yeah, it was literally a family reunion.
Oh, that makes it so much easier, I bet.
Oh yeah. No, I felt super comfortable because it was, you know, 5 people already on set.
So nice.
Right.
Yeah, it's so nice.
So what is the vibe like on cast? You already knew Ricardo, but what has been like just building that chemistry with everybody?
I actually think knowing Ricardo helped a lot, just getting to know the rest of the cast, because it's like, okay, you've got this connection between this person. Now it's both of us welcoming everybody else in rather than each individual person trying to get to know each other. And we got really lucky with the cast because all of us get along so well, which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
But everybody's amazing and we're all really great friends.
Are there any fun behind the scenes stories? I would imagine with all the action, there must be some bloopers.
Yeah.
I put you on the spot.
Trying to think, yeah. The last time somebody asked me this, so Al Koye, second to the left, he had never swam in the ocean before the show.
Oh.
And he's from Florida, so I was like, what are you doing with your life?
Oh, wow. Is he like Is he like center Florida, though? You don't know? We'll see.
I have no clue where he lives, to be honest. I think Orlando. I don't know. Yeah, other Florida.
Yeah. Other Florida.
Yeah, so, you know, he flew out to LA, and so during the production meeting, they're like, is everybody cool with swimming in the ocean? Everybody's like, yeah, we're fine, love the ocean, great place. Then we're out on this tiny dinghy, and we're sitting there like bouncing around in this dinghy, and then they're like, we've got 10 minutes to shoot this shot before we pumpkin, because 3 of us were under 16 at the time.
Oh, gotcha.
And so we had 10 minutes to shoot the shot, and they're like, okay, Al, that's his nickname, Al, you have to dive into the water. You just like dive in head first. You have to save this guy, high energy, all this stuff. And he goes to dive in, and he like swings his feet over the dinghy, and he just kind of like drops in. And everybody was just like, what?
Yeah. Like, do we need to save you?
Yeah. So that was probably my favorite moment.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And leading up to that, he was like, do you think there's sharks out here? And everybody's like, no, there's no sharks out here. I'm like, dude, it's the ocean. Of course there's
Definitely
sharks out here.
Yeah.
There's
So he
so
was
many
also
sharks.
freaked out about that. But
I would
yeah.
be freaked out about that too.
The ocean is too deep, guys.
So his emotional depth in this film is quite real.
Yeah, no, he was terrified.
Yeah.
He was purely terrified.
And you are also a songwriter.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what sparked your passion for songwriting?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It's interesting. The first song I ever wrote, I was 12. I was sitting in my room. Ed Sheeran at the time was probably my biggest inspiration at that moment. So I was like, I'm gonna write this love song about like somebody cheating on me. I didn't know what that felt like. But yeah, so I've been writing for like 3.5 years now.
Yeah.
And recently I've been working on going into sessions, which has been interesting for me because you write so long by yourself. That period, you become comfortable with yourself and you kind of shut away other people. Mm-hmm. So when you go into a session, you have to be open to working with other people and being vulnerable and being able to access your emotion and articulate that. And I'm very bad about that because I grew up with 3 brothers. So I've always got my guard up. I'm not interested in telling anybody about how I feel. Or
They
like,
were just throwing you in the ocean.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And what sort of like, vibe from your new music can we expect?
Every vibe.
Every
Cool.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to categorize things. So I listen to a myriad of genres and songs. I got really lucky because the family I grew up with 3 brothers who one of them loved like 5 Finger Death Punch and like rock, which was like, okay. Another one loved EDM, other one loved hip hop. Dad loved, rock and roll, 60s, 70s, 80s. Mom always listened to the radio. So I got a whole variety of music. And so that's been interesting for me just to be able to realize that I can do whatever I want to do. Mm-hmm. There are no rules to songwriting, which is what really gets me excited. Yeah. Is when I can go into a session and the person I'm writing with or producing with is like, if I'm like, oh, is this too much? They'll be like, no, nothing's too much. And I'm like, thank you. Yeah. Where I'll go into other sessions and people will be like, oh, no, that's too much. Like, you can't do that. It's like, I can do literally anything. And I think that's where the aspect of songwriting that people can get lost in is that they think there are rules that you have to write about. It has to be a love song or that it has to be a 1-4-6-3 progression or whatever, I don't know theory, but that it has to be a certain way. It doesn't at all. And so I've just been having heaps of fun just discovering that and freely creating. And I think being homeschooled was another huge aspect of that where I got really lucky is that being homeschooled, you can create freely, you can allow your creativity to blossom and not worry about judgment from other people. Where if you go to school, there's a lot of judgment, nobody's gonna take you seriously. Oh. So there's a lot of judgment and like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I just got really lucky with my whole situation, really.
Excited to hear it.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
That's so exciting. We're so excited to hear the music. I've never heard anyone eloquently explain songwriting. That to me, I was lost in your words, so I can't imagine what your songs are like. I mean, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can catch the film Malibu Rescue when it hits Netflix on May 13th, and check out the TV series when it debuts on June 3rd. That's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.